Hello everyone, this is Business Africa, your weekly review of all things money. Coming up, will a regulatory body improve economies of Central African states? That is what the new Central African Financial Market Supervisory Commission is setting out to achieve. And OPEC downgrades its growth forecast for 2020 as coronavirus crushes the oil market, but Gabon remains resilient despite COVID-19 crisis. It just announced oil production from Tortue Phase 2 fields. The Central Africa Financial Market Day in Brazzaville, Congo, attracted 200 participants, where a commission, CEMAC, was launched to keep an eye on stock and unify the region's financial markets. But are their goals feasible? Cedric Siosolo and Eric Oteng have the answers.
6 panelists have taken stock of the economic situation in Central African countries and also presented new opportunities offered by the unified financial market of the CEMAC zone. The financial market day held in Brazzaville under the theme, The Stakes and Challenges of the Unified Regional Financial Market, discussed the economic prospects for states and their contribution to the economic development of the sub-region. Francophone Sub-Saharan Africa remains the engine of African growth, according to data provided by the World Bank in its latest Global Economic Outlook report. But it still faces multiple challenges in all sectors.
This major reform paints a picture for better days for the financing and recovery of our economies, since it consolidates the advantages of a single financial market, benefiting from our solidarity in terms of material, financial, as well as human resources.
Discussions focused on economic reforms, green finance, long-term investments, collective management and stock market stimulation. These were cited as future levers for economic development on the African continent. The event, co-organized by the Central African Financial Market Supervisory Commission and the Congolese Ministry of Finance and Budget, brought together 300 participants from around 10 countries and financial organizations. Others include multilateral partners, the World Bank, experts and regulatory authorities in Africa.
Let us hear more now from Nagum Yamasum, the president of CEMAC, whom we met in Brazzaville recently. He explains the role his organization plays and how it will impact CEMAC economies.
Good day, Mom, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about CEMAC. CEMAC is responsible for regulation. So we make the rules that govern the markets to ensure fundraising activities. The investment operations must take place. To regulate all this, to specify and ensure that these rules are respected by all the actors. And that by respecting these rules, we protect the money of the small saver or even the big investor who puts money in an asset. And so this money must be used wisely, and the operations must be carried out in compliance with community rules, which are rules taken at the highest level of the states and governed by rules. And CEMAC, which enacts them on behalf of the states, must ensure that these rules are complied with. Because when they are not complied with, CEMAC can, of course, impose sanctions after several stages.
The question of relations between CEMAC and other African regulators was also addressed.
We have very good cooperative relations with, first of all, our counterparts in West Africa, the Regional Council for Public Savings and Financial Markets. I was in Abidjan to participate in one of the activities. We have excellent relations with our counterparts in Morocco as well. This concerns the African continent because both are French-speaking on the continent, and so it is easier. But we also have relations with the whole community of regulators. Firstly, the French-speaking regulators are grouped together in an organization called the Francophone Institute for Financial Regulation. Finally, everyone is grouped together at the universal level in the International Organization of Securities Commission, IOSCO, which brings together all the regulators in the world. And within this IOSCO, there's what is called CEMAC. That is the IOSCO Committee for the Middle East and Africa.
And finally, he touched the economic impact of the very fast listing recently acquired by the Central African Stock Exchange.
Il y a un potentiel qui est là, mais
there's potential there, but this is not valued because the market is not known. We don't know it. As I told you before this interview, only a few people know CEMAC and what the financial market is all about. And if this share is well known, it will allow investors to come and maybe take shares. If there are other investors who want to sell at the time of the listing, so it will help to animate this market, which is not known at the moment.
Ça va contribuer à animer ce marché qui n'est pas très animé.
These are really high expectations for a financial market that has been hit by crisis for long, but we are positive and shall speak about the technicalities next time. We are taking a short break. When we return, we'll find out how COVID-19 forced the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, to reduce world production of oil.